Hey gardeners, Amy here with Garden Up. Today I want to review and talk about several different hoses, a couple of sprinklers, and quick connectors. So a few years ago, this amazing, innovative new hose called the pocket hose came out. That's the hose that grows, right? I bought some. I loved them. They were fantastic until about 2 or 3 years ago. It would have been around 2020, 2021, somewhere in there. Something changed about the hoses. They used to be green. Now they're black. Color's not important here, but what's going on is the tubing on the inside changed. So it used to come with a warning that you should never close off the outgoing end because pressure would build up and it would pop your hose. You have to understand how these are made. These are basically a balloon in a sock, okay? Think of a rubber tube that's like a balloon and it's just in a sock. That's the thing that keeps it from overexpanding and popping. But a couple years ago, when they changed how they made them, I think what happened is they opted for strength over usability. Because what they did was they put a stronger tubing on the inside, which seems great, except that I think the tubing was also smaller. And now the hoses just don't move water, like hardly at all. Now, for every zone I used to water, I have to move the hose 4 times with these hoses. I'm not going to move my hose 16 times just to get the yard watered. That's ridiculous. And that's just the backyard. The front yard used to be 2 zones. Now I'd have to move it 8 times. It is nuts. These things don't move water anymore. So I don't buy them anymore because I just can't stand only watering this little tiny space. It's kind of ridiculous. So I started shopping for other types of hoses. I want something lightweight that I can easily move around. I absolutely hate hauling around those like 50-pound hoses. Come on, that's ridiculous. I wanted something that didn't kink because that's also infuriating. And I like the flexibility of the grow hoses. I like how easily they move. So that's what I was looking for. And I found a couple of solutions that I really like. The first one that I'll talk about is actually the Fit Force Pro that I purchased at Home Depot. It's called Fit Force Pro because it's designed for professionals, which is one of the reasons it was appealing. It's very lightweight and it's easy to move. And it also came with this nifty little carrying thing that you can put hoses in. So, that's really cool. It's not like a reason to buy the hose, but it's definitely a perk. So I really like this little carrying case thing because, yeah, I do move hoses around quite a lot, and that is handy. The only downsides to the Fit Force Pro are it is a little heavy still for what I prefer. Like if I drag it through my front yard and it runs over a plant, it will still run down the plant and cause damage. So I don't love that. And it, being a flat piece of rubber, actually kinks more often than the old stiff ones. But it's still far better than the heavy-duty, like, rigid hoses that weighed 50 pounds apiece. And it's better than the pocket hose that doesn't move water at all. So I'm still in favor. I still like it. It's also very durable. It's lasted me for several years now, and I really like that. The main one I want to talk about today is the ZeroG hose, which is this one right here. I bought this hose about the same time, 2 or 3 years ago, and I hadn't had a single problem with them until this late spring, early summer, and I'm still not entirely sure what happened to it, but it leaks now out of here, and so it's like the end disconnected from the nozzle or something. It doesn't row like the pocket hoses, which is actually a perk in my opinion, because trying to get pocket hoses to get to their 50-foot length, you had to fully charge them up and like make them spread. So if I had to water my ZeroG bed, I had to turn the hose on, close off the end, wait for it to grow, and then set it and open up. It was really frustrating and annoying. These just are that length, so that's nice. They do take a little bit more space to store, but whatever. Still less space than the old-fashioned ones. It doesn't have the PSI issues where it'll pop if you let the pressure build up in it. At least I don't think so. I haven't had that problem yet, but I also don't close off the end of my hoses. I turn them on at the faucet and I leave them open. So I really like the ZeroG hoses. They're a little heavier than the pocket hoses, but nowhere near as heavy as your standard hose. They do still have the balloon in the sock thing, where that's the way they're designed. It's a piece of rubber tubing inside a fabric sheath. So that's what keeps them from popping. That's what keeps it from kinking. These never kink, which is awesome. Wow, look at that. Much better. I might need to turn down the pressure. Oh shoot, that's gonna get everything wet. Much better. So these are my new favorites. I definitely like the ZeroG hoses. These are great. Little expensive, but I mean, all of them are now, so what are you gonna do? Next, I wanna talk about quick connectors. I am super lazy. I am really busy, and I do not have time to unscrew and screw on new attachments every time I want to go from watering my grass to watering a pot. I just don't have time. I'm the kind of person that would pick up a broadcast sprinkler and hold it over a pot because I'm too lazy to change the attachment, okay? 20 seconds is too much effort. That is my world, okay? So quick connectors, these things are a game changer. I absolutely love them. You put one end on your hose, you put the other end on the attachment, and just like that, you can change an attachment in about a second, 2 seconds tops if it's. They are great. I love them. Get these. They're only a couple of dollars at Home Depot or pretty much any hardware store you'd like to shop from. They probably have these. So there's my little plug on quick connectors. Okay, next is sprinkler heads. So I'm just going to start with the ones I've been using for several years, which are these Ace brand broadcast sprinklers. They're plastic, which gets brittle after a few years, so you do need to replace these. And apparently this one I just bought and it doesn't have the extra adjusting piece, so make sure to watch out for that because that's the entire reason you'd buy these. You can also adjust how far the sprinkler goes. So if I just want to set this on the edge of my lawn and only water this way and not go back, I can easily do that with this adjustment here. Or maybe I have a narrow space I want to water. I can just adjust it to wherever I want it to be. So that's really handy. When my kids have their slip and slide up, I just have it going just over the slip and slide, not on the rest of the yard. So that's kind of cool. I like that feature. I love how adjustable these are. They're really, really good sprinklers. Yeah, they only last a couple of years, so that could be improved as far as like R&D from the manufacturers or whatever. But overall, those are my favorite sprinklers. Let me show you one with the adjusting bit. It has this little piece here, and what that does is it adjusts how wide the spray is, which is really handy. I like this. These little tabs do get brittle and they break after a few years. Okay, I usually get somewhere between 1 and 2 years before these start trying to snap off. And by the end of the second year, they're pretty much dead. But the sprinkler still works. I just can't adjust it anymore. So how these work is you put your hose in one end, you have an adjustment piece that controls how much water goes through it. So if it's too much, you can bring it down. That's very nice. And then, like I said, these little tabs that adjust how wide the sprinkler fan is. These are very cool. I like these. A couple years ago, I saw a couple different sprinklers. I thought, let's give these a shot. I purchased and tried out the Melnor XT sprinkler. It is very similar to the Ace brand broadcast sprinklers in that you can adjust fan of how wide the spray is. And these come with a couple extra features. My favorite feature is that you can plug your hose into one side and then take this cap off the other side and plug another hose with another sprinkler head and then another hose with another sprinkler head. So you can actually daisy chain these and water a long section all at once. So that's really cool. I like that. The problem I have with these is that there are 1, 2, 3 points that can and do leak all the time. And I mean a lot. So you lose a lot of water pressure between this inlet that always leaks, even if there's a gasket in here, this outlet that pretty much always leaks, and then this little top piece. And here's my main criticism for this thing. It looks like this has a really cool feature. You set it down and then you can turn it to spray in whatever direction you want, right? That's cool, except here's the thing. This is a major breaking point. There's an easy way to solve this. You just pick it up and turn it. It's a silly feature for how much it breaks. It's not necessary. So I love the daisy chaining feature, but the head and the way it's attached, these don't last. Literally, my dog ran over it once, and one of them all but completely popped off. And it just sprays out now, doesn't even spray up. So I don't love these as much as I thought I would after trying them. Like I said, for the daisy chaining feature, that is actually pretty cool. I have used that a few times. So, pros and cons. So, I had a pocket hose set up behind me and it just wasn't cutting it. It wasn't working. So, I went ahead and opened my new ZeroG hose, laid it out, and set up my sprinkler with it. And I'll tell you, it makes the biggest difference. I actually had to reduce the flow coming out of it in order to not spray my entire patio and my neighbor's grass. It moved water, and that was the point. So thanks so much for watching, everybody. I hope this video was valuable to you. If you enjoyed it, make sure to tell me by hitting the like button. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe so you get more gardening content in your video feed every week. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the garden.